Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individual guests or creators and do not necessarily represent the views of their employers, business partners, affiliates, or advertisers. Any opinions, advice, or statements made on this podcast are not intended to be taken as fact or professional advice. Please consult a qualified professional before making any decisions based on the content of this podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to Untapped Zania. My name is Maureen. Even the Queen, then the Princess, or Pinduro, the answer, whichever one you prefer. Welcome to another episode once again. As we do always, I do not chill alone. I chill with the one and only
Mash D.
How you doing, Mash D?
I'm fresh and my fresh just gets fresher.
What's the mood? What's the temperature, my dog?
You know, the diamonds in production, they glowing greater than the pressure, you know, like you are out here hitting me up, you know, on some Mbiria with the A2C Munewayo.
It really doesn't.
But to be honest, you know, like the world is full of good people, you know, so that's I mean, the world has a lot of bad people, but I feel like the world has a lot of good people as well. Yeah.
You know what?
You had good peoples here at the end of the year. Shout out to Sharon and Jane.
Fair enough.
So yeah, bro. Like, I think the sort of sentiment is let's give props to the good people, man, because there are a lot of good people around us. I know you're not feeling that right now, but yeah, bro. Like, a lot of good people. A lot of good people.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing positive to say, so I'm just gonna keep quiet. But yeah, welcome to another episode once again. If you're new here, please like, subscribe. Let us know what you've been tapped into so we can tap into that as well. If you're returning, what have you been doing? Also like, subscribe. Let us know what you've been tapped into so we can tap into that as well. But my dog, what have we been tapped into, Meshi? Good people and bad people.
Nah, not really. Nah. We haven't gotten to like this philosophical part of the year. We haven't gotten to the philosophical part of the year. I'm trying to think, bro, because I haven't like really thought deeply about like what I've been tapped into. Because I've been chilled, you know, besides like trying to get ahead of the year as always. Yeah, it's just getting my groove on. I watched a recent ASAP Rocky interview. Okay. Actually, I've watched a lot of Rocky interviews recently because he dropped a new album, and he's been on an interview run. And something that keeps coming up is how he's had a fallout with obviously Drake, but like also some people in the mob. You know, part of like his crew ASAP mob. Yeah, part of the ASAP mob, right? And sort of his overarching sentiment around why he thinks he had a fallout with all these quote unquote friends or former friends is because of his girl, right? And it's like his girl is like calling out the fakes, like, yo, that's not your boy, right? But also like your boy's feeling like, hey man, like
you hang out with your girl too much.
You're hanging out with your girl too much, so it's both sides. These people don't fuck with each other, right? But like that's got me thinking, right? And I want to ask you this. Because I feel like it's a bit more lighthearted, but it's a real thing. Because I mean, like, we are approaching the point in time where Maureen has to like make sure I because I need to attend your wedding, bro. So I want to understand, like, when do you think that like you're going to have a significant influence on the kind of people that your partner hangs out with? Like, or do you think even your partner's gonna have an influence on the people that you're currently hanging out with? Because it's like these are also people that he's been hanging out with. Like, do you think your partner's gonna, like, having that solid partner is gonna automatically just lead to relationships just falling apart?
I think it's natural for certain relationships to fall apart, like just because there's like a new person in the picture, or there's like now a solidified relationship. Because I think like certain people might like naturally might just not gel with the person you're with, or the other way around. Like I feel like it's natural, it's gonna happen. And I think when you kind of get into relationships, like when you formalize relationships, you're gonna have to be very honest with yourself that something like that will happen, and anticipate that it's going to happen, because I think it will happen. I do think though that there has to be a limit to how far that goes, you know, because I think even in relationships like these romantic relationships that are formalized, we are still individuals, and they are still. We talk a lot about how like there's an over reliance on romantic relationships where people can actually borrow from, or not even borrow, but can leverage the other relationships, like the friendships around them. Like you don't have to be complaining about this particular thing to your partner all the time. There's a friend that could listen to you talk about how you hate the fact that there isn't enough vinyls for J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And they would go the whole day and listen to you about that. But it's not necessarily that your partner has to carry that. So I think it's natural that certain relationships will fall apart, and you just have to accept it. And then and I mean, if you formalize a relationship with somebody, that means that relationship is important to you. Otherwise, marry your boys. Like if they're so important, like have them by your side. You know what I mean? And they're not if you're not married to them and you're married to somebody else, then obviously you're gonna have to prioritize that person. I just think with that there has to be kind of a limit in terms of you not kind of eliminating yourself from all your friendship groups. There's still kind of your core friends that stay around, or the people that are easy to stay around and can withstand you being in a relationship. Because also, what are you telling me? What must I do if you're like, yo, I don't like your girl, or I don't like your guy? What must I do? You are literally forcing me into a position where I literally have to cut you off, because what must I do?
So
Like I have formalized a relationship with this person. It's not just between me and that person. The government knows that we're married. Our families know that we went to the church and did the whole thing. Like you're leaving me no choice. It's literally as simple as that. It's not even. I don't think it's even a conversation. It hurts, but I don't think it's a conversation. What is your take? You're like, I still want my boys.
The thing is that
I feel like boys.
No, the thing is
wild.
at the core of the conversation, right? I just wanted to figure one thing out, and like I figured it out.
Which is, I'm always being trapped on this show.
Huh?
I'm always being trapped.
And I wasn't even trapping you, but it's like my theory in thinking about all of this, right? Obviously, yes, it's important that someone that cares about you comes into your life and they call out the fakes, whether that be like a friend that comes into your life and like they're such a good friend that, you know, they call stuff out, or you meet a significant other of the opposite gender, right? But I just feel like at your core, like as women, bro, I just feel like women women are more willing to cut people off than niggas, bro. Yo,
Why? You guys, do you know that's the
like
wildest
you guys, and maybe I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, bro. That's I was just saying at my core, I was thinking about one thing, like women easily cut people off. So I was like, let me run this by Maureen. Let me run this by Maureen and just figure out what's her thinking, and if it's like, I've got a significant other now. We cut people. We got married, bro. We went to church. We've made an oath, so we're gonna cut them off, right? So that's what I wanted to figure out, and it's not to say it's good or bad, because it can be toxic with guys, because we sometimes perhaps hold on to relationships that we need to, you know, let go of.
And maybe we go too far in terms of like just cutting people off.
Thank you that you said it yourself.
But look, right? I think it's a weird thing to think about, because I think guys, a lot of the times, guy relationships are not okay, from my view, they don't seem that deep. You know what I mean? Like, you guys will chill and talk about football and play FIFA or do whatever it is. And it's like, yeah, you chilled, but you don't know my deepest, darkest secrets. You don't know nothing. You don't know what's going on. And then with girls, like, we sit down and we go through situations and we like dissect and we say, she said this, he said this, and then this did this and this did that. And we are still in the space of understanding that personally for me, if my friend was like married and she was like, girl, like, hey, it's not working out, this relationship, my man's not comfortable with having you around, gladly, I will leave you alone in peace. I will not even fight it because whatever
so as the person on the receiving end, right?
Yeah.
You also want that conversation to be had. You want your friend to tell you.
100%.
You're so
Because why would
entitled, bro.
Because no, but okay. What
if they just cut you off?
It's fine. Even if they, what I'm saying is, I don't mind being cut off because you feel like you're married and your partner doesn't trust
you're
me.
obligated to closure.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm obligated to. I mean, it would be wild if you just cut me off and not say anything. It would be wild.
Okay.
But like, even if you did, and maybe I had a glimpse of like, oh, your man doesn't like me. It's fine. Because what am I competing against? Like, why am I fighting for that position so much? Why am I making your man uncomfortable? You see, what we need to talk about a lot more, which I don't think is spoken about, is why guys feel like they are forced to keep friendships that don't serve them. Because you guys will, somebody will do you so dirty, like so dirty, and you will still dab them up when you see them.
This makes me think of like this conversation I once had with H about how he was talking about like the best spaces to be chilling in, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, it's so crazy how, because we're talking about traveling as well. Like, yo, it would be nice to be with to have a big enough bag to travel to Mykonos in Greece and just be chilling and all of that, right?
Yeah.
But thing is, there's fun to be had everywhere at any point in time, right? And then he was like, it's so crazy that niggas, I can't remember his exact words, but I wish I had his exact words because they were so cogent.
Okay.
But it's like, he basically said like, niggas don't understand that chilling with niggas at a spaza on a crate and having conversations, right? And this is chilling with quote unquote paras is way more wholesome than your time in Mykonos. But you need to go to Mykonos to know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's a fair statement.
Yeah, I forgot what you said earlier that sparked that thought. I want to what
Oh, because I said you guys will like somebody will do you so dirty and then
before you said the so dirty, you said maybe we need to figure out why niggas.
Why you guys like to keep relationships that are not serving you?
That's you just don't understand how they're serving me, bro. You don't understand how the relationship is serving me. That's what I mean, bro. Like this nigga, you might think this nigga is for the streets, but this nigga holds a special place in my heart, and they ignite something in me that actually makes my relationship with you as well wholesome because it feeds into my overall self, bro.
That's fine. I'm not fighting that. Go chill with your boys on a crate and talk whatever you want to talk about. But like, if I'm like, yo, we have a school run in the morning, right? You're supposed to do a school run. And you're chilling with your homeboys until like 4 a.m. in the morning. And you can't do a school run. And I'm like, yo, I can't keep on slacking that.
That's just irresponsible.
If I vocalize something like that, you're going to have to make a change. And it's not to say cut them off because I don't think that is as hectic as that. I think it's just to adjust. But there are situations where I'm like, yo, that person put your life at risk. And because they put your life at risk, they put my life in a very weird situation. Because now, what am I supposed to do when you die? You know what I mean? Like, so your life, you existing, affects me. Because now we're joined together. Like, now we are one
The
thing.
risk and death just made me think of something else, bro. Something wild. Have you watched the new Chappelle?
No.
The Unstoppable?
No, I haven't.
Oh my
I
God.
actually forgot that I need to watch that.
Oh my God, I wanted to ask you something
Okay, don't
about
tell me.
that.
Don't tell me because I haven't watched it.
No, but then it's not like I can tell you like I can tell you a Chappelle joke and it's funny. Yeah. It's not about like a joke. It's about
But
a train.
it's
It's more about a
still a
train of thought.
spoiler.
But it's gonna be a spoiler. But like, just to remind me because it's a very important conversation.
Okay.
If you bring it up in the future, I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
I will remind you. Yeah, after I watched.
Hmm.
But yeah, anything else, my dog?
Yo, bro, like if I reflect on like 2025, but like the time we actually chilled together, the only time we chilled together this year when we were hanging out.
Yes.
Right? And we were just like thinking about this year and like the way forward and everything, right? After we hung out, I started thinking about like 2025, right? And especially that moment when you were like, it was like getting surgery without anesthesia.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like thinking about like, bro, 2025 gave hands, bro. And 2025 gave hands, bro. And and I'm like thinking about like, bro, like it's
If I don't
like,
laugh, I'll cry.
I thought about
Quite
that.
literally.
I thought about that and I was like, bro, like, no, man, 2026 can't be like 2025, bro.
No.
Like 2025 was nice in a lot of ways, but like 2025 was, yo.
Honestly, if I'm giving a fair review of 2025, the bad that happened and the magnitude and like of the bad that happened weighed out the good. Unfortunately, like there's good things that happened that year, right? That I can say, yo, that was nice. But the bad things that happened, bro, like life change, like
Bro.
like, yeah. So,
Yeah.
But you know what I've been thinking about into the new year? I'm actually like, I'm very positive about this year. Like, I don't know. And I'm saying it because I really want it to be good. But I feel like the things that happened in 2025, the portals they opened, right, are open and they exist, right? There's only space to build on what's already open. At least for the way I think about it. I think if you're at rock bottom type of thing, the only way you can, if you're still working and still improving yourself, the only way can be up, because you can't be at rock bottom and go further if you're working and if you're trying to improve yourself. So I'm very positive about this year. I'm very positive about the thoughts I have around this year and the openness I have around experiencing the year for what it is. In the sense that I'm looking forward to meeting new people. I don't know if they're gonna be good or bad. I hope they're good, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to ticking off a few things that I've written down for myself, and kind of it's something that actually Lloyd put on his status the other day, which I ended up printing out. Shout out Lloyd. Is you don't expect results. Don't just expect results. You need to plan for those results. And I think that is so empowering when you think about it, because the year is going to be the year anyway. Like, you're going to meet good and bad people throughout the year anyway. Bad things, good things are going to happen throughout the year anyway. But if you stick to the plan of what the things that you actually want to do and you stick to that, you'll probably get the results that you want. And even if the year is really bad, at least you can count on the few good things that you've kind of planned out for yourself and actually stick to the plan to start to finish, you know? So I'm very positive. I'm very positive.
I like the optimistic outlook.
But I don't want 2025 to happen ever again. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. 2025 wasn't a good year, but I hear you. Like, I feel like the 2026 aura, the vibe, the air,
it's giving.
it's good.
Plus, my goat is dropping an album this year.
Yeah.
We are all happy. We are all excited in this side. Like, it's starting off on a very, very good note. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay. On my side, what I've been tapped into, and I thought you would talk about this because this is your thing, right? It's the rand. Like, the rand to the dollar specifically, because there's been conversations being had about, oh, the rand is strong, and people being like, nope, the dollar is just doing terribly, like across the board, and that's why your life is not improving because the dollar is just doing bad. Other people being like, hey, maybe Trump is just doing it intentionally so that, to manipulate markets and something like that, which is wild, wild theories. So I actually wanted to actually get your take on this because I think you're more suitable to be talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, also I don't think I've tapped in enough in terms of like the intricacies of it, in terms of like the technicalities.
Yeah.
But like I've seen like, bro, every second status of anyone on my WhatsApp that is in finance is just a screenshot of it just hit 16.
We're at 15 rand.
15.99 and all of that, right? But I think there's the earlier conversation we had around, can't remember what the episode was, but something to do with like the purchasing power. But the time Lisecha Khanyago gave a lecture.
7 rand. The
Yes,
7 rand thing.
yeah, the 7 rand thing where where he was basically outlining how the rand should actually be trading at about 7 rand to the dollar, right?
Yeah.
And how the markets have been manipulated, and also speaking on how with our exchange rate regime, we need to perhaps consider shifting from a free floating exchange rate to maybe a fixed exchange rate, because supply demand dynamics aren't necessarily representative of like actual market dynamics. And maybe that's part of the reason why I haven't been as tapped in as I should be, because I'm also thinking about it like there are too many forces that are at play that don't have anything to do with like the core of how a currency should be valued. There's obviously the markets recovering from rand rigging and all of that happened years prior. There is obviously the Trump aspects and stuff. But I also feel like part of it is also South Africa has, in some aspects, been doing good, especially from a debt, sovereign credit rating standpoint. We've been improving like gradually.
The ratings as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like all the ratings in comparison to what it was looking like a few years prior, like it's been getting better and better. So I feel like there's also that, like we're doing a lot better in terms of our ability to attract foreign direct investment, although that is contorted by what's happening with our relationship with Israel, which is obviously going to affect our relationship with the US. So it's not going to get as publicized as we would want it to be, because, yeah, they would obviously have an incentive to low-key sabotage that narrative.
On the ratings, right? Because I think like a big part of this conversation is that people want to see the value of the rand doing as good to the dollar in their pockets. Like they want to feel it in their pockets. So when they go buy bread, it's not 25 rand. Like they're buying it at a lower price or whatever thing that they need.
Okay, just a quick question before you continue there, T. Is I think about that a lot as well, but when I think about it is what does it look like? Given that there was an article on the same publication that had the article that on the 7 rand thing. I think it's business
Communion.
I forgot.
Business Daily?
But no. I forgot. But business something. But my point is, they also published an article. I can't remember if it was 2020 around how the rand could be going to 60. Right. That was market commentators, perhaps someone who's credible, whatever, but based off of their analyses of the market dynamics at the time, they could see it getting there, right? And now we were sort of the comfortable sort of range. If we're having a conversation, if me and you are having and I'm going to allow you to continue, please don't forget, because it's
Okay, I'll
please
make
don't
a
forget.
note.
If we're having a random conversation, right, and I ask you, or we're like, yo, we need to get flight tickets, and you were like, yo, they cost whatever amount of dollars. The automatic exchange rate that you run it by is like 20, right? Like in like the average conversation these days, or if someone
Maybe
was to
18, maybe 18, because we stayed
but
in 18 around
18 to 21 range. It's sort of like if someone's buying a sneaker online and it's dollar denominated, they're gonna be like, okay, it's $350. How much is that? And then they're gonna. So my point there is, you have the 60 range, you have the range where it's like the conversational range, right? And then you also have the that 7 rand range where it's like, yo, this is also our Reserve Bank governor saying, yo, this is what we think we should be sitting at, right? When people think about, I think a lot about how when people think about inflation being stable, right, and our currency being stable, say rand to dollar, what does that look like?
In like,
Yeah, what does that like? Does it look like the example you just made of your 0-rated items are like cheaper? You know, like I'm getting, like I can see like my bread is fairly priced, my milk is fairly priced, my eggs are fairly priced. Is that what a fair value of money looks like? Or is it like an amount? Are we targeting to say, yo, because that's where I'm like, I don't understand the screenshot of, okay, 15.99, where are we trying to get to 10, you know?
okay, I sort of understand what you're saying. I think for me, it means my daily life is cheaper. That's my visual in that, like, I want to see, like, when you're saying the rent is strong, I want to see that, like, there's actual job creation, there's actual a growth trajectory that we are on. Yeah. I want to see that, like, my cousins have jobs, and there's like a wide range of like new industries coming into play. We're industrializing if we need to be, like, I need to see that I need to see it with my eyes, because I don't understand how, and that's just me and how I see it. I don't understand how we can celebrate an amount but still living in a very expensive country for the people that live within that country. You know what I mean? There's no point for me, because I feel like it should be making my life cheaper. I should be celebrating it because I know for the things that I get to have, and for the well-being, for my well-being, it's better. It's improving my life.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the reason why I should be celebrating something that literally has no impact in my life. Like, my cousins are still unemployed. I think we're at like 0.9 or 0.5 worth of growth. Like, that doesn't affect my life. Like, it doesn't have an impact in my cousin who's unemployed or my standard of living that I currently am living. Like, during the December period, like, it was a whole conversation around tourists visiting Cape Town and how expensive Cape Town is becoming, and how everybody now, it's not just Black people complaining about Cape Town. It's like everyone is complaining about Cape Town now, because people are being priced out of the city. And those are people that belong, like, they're South African. They should be there, but they can't be there because it's just expensive. So in my life, I want it to be so easy. Like, if I have to celebrate the strength of the rand, I have to be seeing the value of that in my pocket, in my daily life. If I can't see that, I honestly, because I think about this, how many people do you know in your life that are just traveling abroad constantly? Right? Because if we look at it in the sense that, like, when you go outside, like, it's stronger, you can travel a little bit more. Yes, that's nice. We love that for you. But on a day to day, how many people do I know in my life that are just like booking a trip to go somewhere? It's not a lot. It really isn't. And part of the reason is because their lives are not improving. Like, they don't have that surplus for them to just be like, yeah, I'll take a vacation somewhere else. So what's the point in that? It's just serving a set of people that can still travel, that can still afford to go out, but the rest of us still can't do those things. You know what I mean? And for me, it's difficult to celebrate something like that. It's nice to see, but it's difficult to celebrate it. You know what I mean?
And I feel like the conversation you're having is very important, and I like how you ended it, because I feel like how you ended it speaks to even our understanding of the implications of these things, like saying, yo, the rand going from 20 to 15 to 10, what does that mean? Does the Reserve Bank, for example, and I think that this is a deeper conversation, a bigger conversation, is part of their role actually making sure my cousin has that job, is like, so that we also, I feel like it's important to have this kind of literacy, because then we can direct our anger right. I think we need to also be very strategic about our anger. I was thinking about 2026 and like big ideas, because I need to work on something, right?
Yeah.
And part of it is figuring out like a bunch of trends and a bunch of things. But one of the things that I was thinking about, right, which is significant, was activism. Okay. And I was thinking about activism in the context of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? Because I think we haven't fully figured out what it looks like in the African context for them in particular. Like, we saw what happened in Nepal last year, right? And we can see that like, this is a generation of revolutionaries that can run a country via Discord and then select an interim government. What does that look like in the African context, right? And what kind of things, looking at it from a 2026 standpoint, could spark that kind of like even minuscule revolutions to make us start seeing what that looks like, because they are the generation that's going to be at the forefront of this like upcoming sort of wave of activism, right? I hate how today I keep forgetting what sparks a thought, bro, because that's so important in going back. But are you gonna help
people
me?
getting jobs? I'm just thinking people getting jobs.
I forgot.
Okay,
Completely
but
forgot.
like,
Completely forgot.
and I think like what you're saying about that way to direct the anger is also way to direct our energy in terms of production, in terms of growth. Like, we need to be thinking about how we can how we can create jobs. That's how we grow, right? Like, that's kind of like a basic way of growing.
Oh, yes. The activism in that, like, even in them directing their anger as young activists, they need to understand how to do it right. So if you think back to Fees Must Fall, for example, right? I think Fees Must Fall was so well run because you had, and this is not to say, like, everyone that was at the forefront of Fees Must Fall was an academic in some standpoint, right? But I feel like we also need to understand our different roles, in the sense that, like, some people are great as like leading from the forefront. Some people are great writers. Some people are great at interpreting what's been said by both sides to the public, So I feel like Fees Must Fall was done right because there were like people in the forefront. But if something had to be written, to be submitted, things were happening in real time. Like if they wanted, like, we weren't just in the streets. If a document had to be submitted, things were being submitted. Like, there were people that were like working on things like digitally as at the same level that people were working on things on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking about in the context of activism and like knowing who who to hold accountable, because you can waste so much of your energy going at the wrong person or going at the wrong organization, going at the wrong thing,
and just doing something that doesn't add to value to what you're trying to ultimately get get help on or advance as
Exactly.
So we can complain that the iPhone is expensive, which it is. It's not getting cheaper, but at the same time we need to think opposed to us fighting for the iPhone, what should we be fighting for that will actually benefit us as South Africa, as a country, and drive us forward? And I think those conversations are important to have, because then we can direct our positive energy in that direction. Then we can demand the right things if we need to be demanding those things. But we can't be demanding and the other thing is great PR is there's workings around the PR that goes out with these things, right? Which is good. Like, oh, we're doing so well. But people are not feeling it in their pockets. And I think that should be the conversation that we should be asking, why am I not feeling it in my pocket? If we're all celebrating, if everybody's celebrating this great thing that's happening, why am I not feeling it in my pocket? And if we ask that
100%.
question, we were able to build on that to be like, oh no, that's because we haven't created enough jobs. Oh no, that's because people are not investing enough in our country, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing. Then we can build on that. Then we can be like, okay, so how do we direct that great PR into this tangible thing that we actually want to happen, So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. I actually wanted to ask you a question. Since you're wearing that's about fun.
And it could be the question of the week.
Yes, I don't mind. So we had AFCON, and I was going hard rooting for Bafana. We didn't do so great, but it's all good. There was controversy around Morocco and that Senegal final, and the Penenka issue. People being like, yeah, that was disguised. Like, it was like he didn't take it for real. He just gave it away. The players themselves, just, because nobody reacted. A whole lot of conversations around that. Some people complaining about Morocco as a host country, that they were not being fair to people, the amount of tickets that were being sold for for Senegal and all of that stuff. I just wanted to get your view on Africa as a whole, in that when conversations like that come up, it's almost as though there is all of us Africans that look like you and me, and then there's the other Africans that are up north, and there is this war that happens that says, oh, they are not as African as us. We are the real Africans. And you can see it in how almost everybody that I know was railing behind Senegal, right? And nobody wanted to rally behind Morocco. But it's like we're in the same continent, you know what I mean? So I actually just wanted to get your views on that. Like, do you think that's a real thing? Like, we are actually divided in that sense, and there is tangible evidence to support that we are actually divided in that sense, truly, truly?
Yeah.
Or is it exaggerated in that when there's a sporting tournament that's happening and rivalries are there, it's just going to blow out of proportion in some ways?
Okay, yeah. I feel like it's very difficult to answer it when you want to approach it from the context of like tangible evidence, because I feel like the evidence is tacit. It's things like that. It's the stadium, and not just like at an international level where a Morocco's playing with the Senegal, but even at a club level where a Moroccan club is playing with a South African club, right? In the CAF Champions League, you have lasers being pointed at players' eyes and things like that. So things like that, like, are tacit, like, type evidence where it's like things like this do happen, right? The facilities that people sleep at times, like
transportation,
during qualifiers and things like that. When they visit these countries, they are treated in certain ways, right? If you think about something slightly different from like football, but still speaks to the same thing, is like Arab nations, like just the concept and the idea around that, right? Is in Egypt, for example, assimilate more with like the Arab countries, with like the Emiratis, as opposed to like Africa. You know, that for them is like, you know, and with the Morocco, they assimilate more with countries like Spain, you know, so in Europe. So it's a real thing. Like it's a real thing. And I think even if you look at it from a cultural or religious standpoint, right? You look at the pyramids, you look at the artifacts and how they're painted in a certain color, and like the modern day Egyptian isn't that color, and that's also controversy, right? Why is it controversial? So it speaks to the same thing. That's why I'm saying like the evidence is tacit. It's not like, hey, there's like there's like a study or like a report that speaks to these kinds of like tangible things that can directly speak to like, yo, this is a divided continent. But truth is, it is.
Yeah, I can hear that. It's just that sometimes it's like, I feel as though we focus more on that. We focus more on the division than focus on the entire thing, and that ends up like biting us in the backside.
I don't think we focus more on the thing. I think we ignore, like we take a very throw things under the carpet type approach. Okay. Right? We ignore things as they happen, and then we're confronted with the moment. And then when we're confronted with the moment now speaks to the situation in its entirety. So the final between Senegal and Egypt and Morocco, right, was a representation of how we feel as Africans. And we're like, Morocco, we hope you lose, and we hope you lose when you're hosting. But that's like animosity, that's anger, that's deep-rooted feelings that come from like within, because we felt that way for a long time. It's not something, it's not that moment.
Okay. I think we can keep it at that.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Peace out for the peace out.